So a quick side by side between a 5 to 25 by 50, you can see it's a little smaller lengthwise. I had to run a 44 objective on here because my old scope coming off of my Sako 204 Ruger is a 44. And with their Sako's mounting, I just did not want to have to go through the hassle of getting new rings. It's a bit of a pain in the butt to try and find stuff for Sako up here in Canada, or Sako. I've been corrected, it's Sako many times, but I'll still always call it Sako. So a little smaller objective. This is again a second focal plane. I actually grabbed Stacy's Creedmoor because it didn't have the Tactacam or the sunshade on it. So just for a better comparison. So very nice audible clicks. And it's got the zero stop, which is not currently set up to, but once I sight it in, I'll do all that. Illuminated reticle, your parallax from infinity to looks like 20 yards. You can see that, and then your windage. But very nice little scope, and I just love these ones. And I really like the first focal plane. It's my second scope having the first focal plane, so I'm really excited to have that on my 204. So the reticle is not so big, but I'm gonna grab my 204, get her mounted up here, just give you guys one more quick little look. And again, this is a 44 versus a 50. Other than that, she's pretty much identical. Okay, I'm gonna get her mounted on the gun, give you guys one peek at her, and then in another day when it's light out, we'll sight it in, get it zeroed. So guys, here's my rifle. It's about 10 years old. Take really good care of it. I wanted to show you this ring mounting system that I was talking about. Sako's own design. It's kind of like a dovetail thing in there with a little tab. You slide it all the way forward, tighten it down here. This is a one-piece ring mount. They do make two-piece where you have a base and a ring that'll sit in it, but I went with this one. And on a 44mm objective, it's basically perfect. So that's why I went with this scope, just to save me, you know, $300 or $400 for getting new rings. So I had the scope on there. Awesome eye relief. Sako actually has these plastic, or Sako plastic inserts that go in between your scope and your ring, which I think saves you from having to lap your rings. I never have. Anyway, I'm gonna throw it on there, and I will use I'll level my rifle inside, and then I'm actually gonna look about as far as I can from my house, 30 yards, and I'm gonna make sure my level is reticle using a plumb bob. Maybe I'll grab some Tactacam footage of that for you guys. So guys, I went ahead and leveled the rifle and did the crosshairs against the plumb bob. I'm just gonna do a final torque. I got a wheeler where it says 18, so we're gonna go to 18 inch-pounds, and just gonna go around here, get her snugged right down. I had it snug enough that I could bring it back to the garage and get working on it without worrying about it moving. But as you can see, I got a ways to go here yet. And all these, pretty anal about having equal spacing on my gap on my rings, both sides. Like everything to be perfect. I'm just gonna keep going around and around. This one's quick. So we're at 18. Okay guys, I gotta leave the quad running because the battery was dead, had to boost it. It's pretty cold, it's 20 below. Not the best day for doing this. Beautiful all day. Of course, I go and sight my rifle in and it starts to snow. I did a quick bore sight, 4 shots at 50 yards, and I'm really close to 50 yards, so I got her moved out to 200. I'm gonna throw 3 down, see where we're at, and then do a little fine tuning at 200 yards. I'm gonna fire up the Tactacam and let you guys see my hold. Not the perfect scenario, but I'm trying to rush, just get her rough for today, and we're gonna be hunting coyotes with this gun tomorrow. So we'll see where we're at. 200 yards. I actually had to move my scope ahead a little forward because it wasn't spitting empty shells. It was catching the knob there. So we're at about 14 power. I'll shoot 3, then we'll go look. Hard to see here, not best day for this. So I can't see my hits from here. I don't have an interactive target. We'll go look and measure and make some adjustments, and then we'll do a couple of final groups maybe. I don't know if you can see them on here, but we'll go have a look. So this bottom one was at 50 yards. My first one after bore sighting was there. Then I had 2 here, and then I got 2 right there at 50 yards. And then we're up to 200, the group there. So I'm about 2 inches high, and I'll say an inch left. So I'll go half a minute since we're 200 yards. I'll go a quarter or half a minute left and a full minute down, and we should be right on there. So the scope actually has a 0 stop. So you actually take the cap off and you loosen this up, and then you make your adjustments here. And then when you lock it back in, you put your cap back on, you have your 0 stop. So I'm gonna go down to 14. I'm at 15. I'm gonna go down a whole minute. And then I'm gonna go left another half minute. I turned the box sideways. There's a staple with a little bit of paper. We're still at 200 yards, and we're just gonna aim for that. I don't know how well you'll see it on the scope. I can kind of barely see it like through the Tactacam. But what I'll do is I'll aim for that, and we'll see. I think we're bang on there. So let's do one more group just to make sure we're good, and I'm gonna be happy. And then it's time to go. So guys, I'm gonna do one final run here. You're probably not gonna see what I'm shooting at. I probably can't even see, but it's a little white dot there. I am wiggling a little bit. I should have a vise, but so guys, I did one final group at this this little white chunk of paper. I actually changed the boxes of shells during the checking it, and it was I was going up and down, just different lot numbers probably, right? So you know, we're probably be still half minute, I'd call this rifle. This is, like I said, 200 yards, right? If this is 100 yards, it'd be probably a full minute. I'm not gonna measure, but you see the thumb, right? So I'm really happy with that. Bang on at 200. I'm gonna call her good. We're gonna go chase some coyotes. We got the Vortex toque going on here. Gotta wrap a little bit, right guys? That's a VIPER PST. I'd have got my box, all my stuff, and then we'll see you guys tomorrow. Basically, I locked these back in. I probably lost my Allen wrench by now, I bet. Yeah. Oh no, there it is. So once I've done that, you lock this back in. All these 3 are tight. The other one's tight, you can trust me. Then you take your cap. This is the 0 stop on the VIPER line. Take your cap, put it back on here. Still at 14.5. This is sometimes a little bit tricky. 0 it. And you go ahead and lock this one down. My hands are actually getting warmer now, which is good. Maybe they're just numb. You go ahead and snug these. There is a torque spec to them, but I'm so good I have that down to touch by now. But I'm just gonna snug them up for now. I'm probably blocking the camera, apologies. So then you can dial up, right? Dial up, so 6 minutes is 300 yards for 204 Ruger, and then your 0 stop. Won't go anywhere past that. Pretty slick. So the windage, you just pop off and re-0 to 0. That's ready to go. We're ready to go. We're ready to hunt with this rifle. Thanks for watching, guys. we're going hunting with this gun tomorrow for coyotes. And we got a derby coming up next weekend, so I gotta have it ready to go. Cheers, guys.